Hey, it's LaJoie. Welcome back to my channel. Please make sure to like and subscribe, especially if you want to help and build this conscious community. This week, I really wanted to talk to y'all about my little mini meditation retreat that I did this past couple of days and what I truly learned. And this is like as I would say, intermediate meditator, okay? So I've been meditating consistently for the past 2 years. I've done I think over 1,000 hours of meditation collectively, most of that coming from the past 2 years, okay? But I really wanted to talk about the importance of meditation and really like the key things that I learned from this meditation retreat and how it has inspired me to move forward with meditation. So let's get into it. So the first thing is, I know a lot of people, and even like when I first was introduced to meditation, I was one of those people who was like, I have too many thoughts in my head. There's no way I can meditate for that long. Maybe I can do like 1 minute, but that's about it, right? And meditation was just like so difficult for me. It was so challenging. I would sit down and then I would automatically just have thoughts running through my head. I'd attach to some thoughts. I would always come back, right? But I would attach to some thoughts. I'd start like fantasizing or daydreaming and just hopping into these different dimensions, if that's how you want to put it. But I have to say this, the meditation retreat was incredible and it really changed my perspective on meditation. So, the past 2 years, I would always like force myself to meditate. It was a very forceful thing. And like when I first started meditating, it wasn't forced because like I would literally just go to like, I think I went to like a Zen Buddhist monastery. And they kind of made it easy for you, right? They made it super easy. And what I mean by this is I would go on Sundays with my friend who was a Buddhist, or who is Buddhist. And so they made it kind of easy because you would meditate in this big space with a lot of people. And I think because of the setting, it was easier for me to meditate. And so I was like, I can see the benefits of this. But when I went back home and I started to meditate, try to do meditation for 30 minutes, it just like was not clicking. I was like, that's not possible. Like I can only do maybe 3 minutes before I get anxious and I look at the clock, right? So I say all of this to say this was my first experience with meditation. This was about 8 years ago. And maybe I was introduced to meditation like a little bit before, because I don't know, I was a weird child. And when I was younger, I remember I always tell myself, one day I'm gonna spend a couple of years at a monastery and just meditate. Out of nowhere too, like I'm saying, like, and when I say out of nowhere, I mean I lived in Japan for about 5 years when I was a kid. But I never meditated. I just went to some of the temples and I saw the monks and I was like, maybe I'll do that for a couple of years. That was it. Never really pursued it. Never really went deep into like what meditation was. Didn't do any of that. So anyway, so fast forward, 2 years ago. So this is 6 years after I first did my first like 30-minute meditation experience. I went to a beginner's meditation retreat, which was great because they really ease yourself into meditation. Whereas I feel like a lot of meditation schools, they force you into meditation instead of easing your way into it. And I'm starting to realize that actually makes the opposite effect. It makes the people who have had experiences with meditation maybe get better at it, but the people who haven't or who have never had experience with meditation, it doesn't really create an environment where they enjoy meditation. Again, it makes it something of like, I have to do this, which is what we really don't want, right? We want more people to love meditation. And so in this past 3 days, I learned like a bunch of these techniques. And by the way, this was a free meditation retreat, which I love. This is from the Dhammakaya Buddhism sect, I guess. That's how you would say it. This is from Thailand. I really love their approach. Their approach is that they want you to enjoy meditation. They want you to make it easy. And the biggest thing that I learned from this retreat was that before you even close your eyes to meditate, you need to take your time, sweet time, okay? I don't care if you are in, one of those other meditation retreats where like, you have to close your eyes right now. Take your time. That was the biggest thing I learned. Sit down, slowly close your eyes. Close your eyes until they feel like they need to be closed, right? Don't just close them. Close them like slowly, right? You want to make sure your breath is really calm, and you just want to make sure you're relaxed, okay? So if you feel any tension, adjust it. And this is the other like big thing that I learned from this meditation retreat, is that if you need to adjust, okay? Like it's not really a big deal. I think as you get deeper into your meditation practice, that's when you start to be a little bit more strict. But starting off, you don't have to do all of that. So so this was one of the keys, was slowly close your eyes, right? Focus on your breath. And as a beginner, you can go through a bunch of different meditation techniques until you find one that works, okay? So if somebody is saying focus on your breath and that's not working, okay, move on to the next one. Move on to a mantra, move on to like a visualization, right? This is like one of the biggest keys that I think allows a lot of people to become better meditators, is like experiment. Like it's fine. If one way doesn't work, it's okay. Like go to a different way of doing meditation. But I just love how they make it so easy, and it's really smart how they organize it too. They want it to be something enjoyable. They want you to meditate. And there's a couple of tricks that they do throughout the process, throughout the 3-day retreat, that really empowers you to actually like meditate and empowers you to want to meditate more. So I really appreciate that. So it was cool because, again, coming from, I've been meditating consistently, and I have to admit, I haven't really like, I want to say like I haven't enjoyed the meditation. I think in the past I did it because I knew it was good for me and I can see the after effects of meditation. That was my motivation. It wasn't the fact that I was like, oh, I enjoy meditation. It wasn't any of that. It was literally the fact that, no, meditation is good for me. This is something I must do to just like align my body, mind, and soul, and to really tap into abundance and really tap into the truth of who I am. Right, so like I was saying, so it was really a beautiful experience, and I just wanted to say this, right? So the past 2 years, I kind of like forced myself to meditate because I knew it was good for me. I mean, I did a Vipassana for 20 days, like 2 years ago, and which is no speaking, you're just intensely meditating, no speaking, no phones, no writing, no reading, nothing, like really, you're just meditating. So I did that, and that I have to say that, having the foundation of easiness and approaching meditation as something that is doable instead of something that I can't do or it's impossible for me to do, that allowed me to do Vipassana for 23 days and really have an average of like 10 to 14, sometimes 20 hours a day of, not 20, no, more like 18 hours a day of meditation. But I think that the Vipassana really allowed me to see, oh, actually, I can do 6 hours if I really wanted to. If I really had nothing better to do, I could really do those 6 hours, right? So that's really what Vipassana is for. I think it's just to really empower you to really see how capable you are to do more intensive meditation techniques. Okay. But yeah, so I mean, it was just so beautiful the way they broke everything down, and there were a lot of beginning meditators. And so this is a meditation retreat that I did here in Bali. It's at the Bali Meditation Center. But 10 out of 10 recommend. I think that's the best retreat that I've ever seen for beginners, to be honest. Like, and I went to some good ones. I went to some good ones in Thailand, but this one for me was the best. This was definitely the best, because it was just so well organized, and the techniques and the teachings were really, really, really well done. And it was just, yeah, it was really good. I think all of the teachers, all of the teaching monks, all of the supporting staff were incredible. And again, it was just a very well thought out retreat. So if y'all are interested in a retreat, they have another 7-day retreat coming up September 11th to 19th. And I think they have one more in October. But if you're a beginning meditator, I highly, 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 highly recommend to do at least the 3-day retreat. They have a 1-day retreat. I mean, you can do that one if you don't have a lot of time, but I highly recommend the 3-day retreat, especially if you are somebody struggling with meditation. I'm telling you now, after this retreat, you will definitely shift your mindset when it comes to meditation, if it's something that you really want and that you really seek, okay? If you're one of those people who's like, I don't know how to meditate, and I don't know how to meditate, and I don't want to meditate, okay, then don't go, like, obviously. obviously don't go. That's fine. But if you're one of those people who's like, I don't know how to meditate, it's been difficult, but I'm open to learning, you need to go to this retreat, okay? You need to go to the Bali Meditation Center retreat. They do have retreats also in Thailand, so if you comment below, I will let you know where those are. But I highly, highly, highly recommend this one. It was incredible. I learned something, you know, even as an intermediate, like meditator. I mean, I call myself intermediate, but yeah, because I think the advanced ones, it's like, they can sit down and they know where they're going. That's the only way I can put it. Whereas like intermediate, I feel like I'm still kind of like stumbling through the woods sometimes. I'm like, oh, I found a path. Let me go this, you know, like it's kind of like that. Whereas like the advanced, they know exactly where they're going as soon as they start meditating. So beginners, y'all kind of stumbling through the woods too, but you're not really worried about a path. You're just stumbling through the woods until you find something interesting. So that's how I'm gonna put it for meditation. But yeah, so I mean, it was incredible. It was a really incredible experience. And then I will actually volunteer with them in September. So you'll also see me if you are here in Bali, and you decide to do one of the retreats, you'll also see me volunteering with the program. So I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited to volunteer and just see how much more people grow from the experience and are empowered to really keep up with meditation. So that's gonna be it for this week. I love y'all so much. Make sure to check out the free wellness library with meditation techniques below, okay? I'll see y'all later. Peace.